there, YouTube. We are two of the middle-aged guys, the Reverend here, and
Gray Mouse 1.
Yep, and this right here is going to be a short, week-late review. Basically, what happened was that just a little bit earlier this afternoon, we went out and we saw Justice League.
Yep.
And before getting into the details or the nitty-gritty of it, I gotta say, not anywhere near as bad as I thought.
You're right. I mean, especially if you go in there with an open mind.
Yeah.
And, you know, so I felt that I went in there with an open mind, and I
gotta say my expectations were really low, to be completely honest. We've been extremely critical of the previous Batman versus Superman. We didn't do one of Man of Steel because that was before the time of the middle-aged guys when we started doing YouTube videos and everything. But, you know, if you're a fan of the comic book genre and you're a fan of comic book movies, obviously the story of Justice League is a long story to one. When it comes to the production of this movie alone, it's a rather long and storied production. As we know, this was initially announced all the way back in, like, right off the heels of Batman v Superman, which, what was that, 2015?
I think it's 14. Yeah.
2013, right? Batman v Superman. Okay, that one. Yeah, that particular movie came out
2016.
Actually, 2016. Yeah, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, 2016. They actually announced that they were going right into the filming of Justice League right afterwards. And if I remember correctly, the plan was supposed to be that the Justice League was going to be a set of 2 movies.
Yep.
Okay. And that they were going to set up Darkseid in the first one, and then the second one afterwards, they were going to actually have Darkseid appear.
Yeah.
But as Warner Brothers is apt to do, if we understand all of the dirt sheets and the behind-the-scenes stories for the production of this movie went, they mandated that all of a sudden the 2 movies become 1 movie.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that sent, I believe, Zack Snyder and his co-writer into a scramble to go ahead and
get things together.
Yeah. To go ahead and condense things. And then after that, they said that it couldn't be 2.5 hours long, that it had to be 100 minutes or less. All right. So they couldn't sit there and push the envelope for the amount of minutes. They wanted more showings to be available during the day, on every day for box office scores and everything, or box office revenue. And then what happened a few months ago was the fact that Zack Snyder's daughter, she died. There was a tragedy in the family. He had to leave the project, and then Joss Whedon came into the picture. And over the past, what was it, almost 3 months, 3 full months of reshoots and tweaking of the dialogue and everything else. So, long story short, when it comes to this movie, there was a lot of material that they wanted to cover, but it really ended up being one of those productions where a lot of hands are in the production of the movie. Definitely put together by committee, by a large part, and it kind of shows.
Well, you mentioned a very good thing about Zack Snyder. I felt that maybe it was better that, unfortunate things happen in life, but it's fortunate that did happen, and he kind of got off of the being a director, and then, because I think it could have been a lot worse, is what I'm saying. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say.
Well, I do too.
But you know what I mean?
I'm not sure in this particular instance. All right, even though I've been very critical of Batman v Superman, and like the previous ones, like Man of Steel, I was not a big fan of. Just to be completely honest.
But you don't like Metropolis and Gotham being so close? Anyway.
No. I mean, even before they revealed that in Batman v Superman, okay, Man of Steel, I wasn't a big fan of. All right, not that I'm not a big fan of Superman. It's just the fact that, generally speaking, that particular movie that didn't set well with me. Mm-hmm. All right, so Batman v Superman comes along, and again, a lot of the things that happen on screen, a lot of the things that people saw and that they didn't like, they could attribute directly to the director and co-writer of the film, Zack Snyder.
Yep.
In this particular one, if I take the indications that there was a lot of course correction, a lot of changes in tone and everything, I don't think I can't say proof positive that his leaving was going to leave the movie any worse or any better than what it ended up in.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I could do that. I could say that as well. But it definitely wasn't a dark movie.
Yeah, and
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think there are many times when you can sit there, you can actually pick through the scenes and say, okay, this particular scene felt like something that Joss Whedon did.
Yeah.
All right. Or this particular scene felt like something that that Zack Snyder did. All right. But before we just go ahead and ramble on, let's go ahead and let's handle this like we do with our normal reviews. All right. We'll go through 3 different points: what we liked, what we didn't like, or what we thought may need to change. And then the third point always is, instead of hints to the future or something like that, where we'd like the DCEU to go ahead and go. All right. Like, I'll start first. Like I said first, right at the beginning of this movie was not as bad as I expected to be. Granted, my bar was very low. I did like a lot of the interaction that they had between the characters.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It didn't seem out of place. Neither did it seem like, there was a little bit of ego and testosterone, a little, guys jockeying for position and stuff like that, but nothing so egregious or offensive where it became like a stumbling block to the actual characters themselves. All right. That I liked. I like the fact that they went ahead and they chose to put Wonder Woman in the forefront. All right. Say as much as you will about pandering to the whole girl power thing and everything else. That's really popular in movies now. I just think it was a smart idea for the fact that she is, by all accounts, that is their best DCEU movie right now, and she's also the most recognizable, most marketable character out of all of them. So, and her sequences were great.
Yeah.
I also like the fact that it looked like if they were trying to go ahead and course correct, that it seems like by the end of the movie, by the time we got to the end of the movie, it seems like they were getting to the point where they were figuring out, okay, if this is what we're going for, this is what works. Yeah. That's what it felt like. Okay. What about you? What did you like?
The same thing I kind of agree with you. There's a lot of characterization.
Yeah.
And like I was saying before, is like you can actually go into this movie not knowing who these characters are and still enjoy the movie. Yeah. It gave you enough, I don't want to say background, but it gave you enough to know that this is Cyborg, this is Wonder Woman, this is Flash, So, and I felt they did excellent with that. I mean,
and let's be honest too, when it comes to those characters, as far even more than the Marvel characters are the superstars now, almost everybody knows, with the background of Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, the Flash is Aquaman. We know he's a guy who talks to fish. Cyborg has been in popular media
for a while,
in the animated form for like the last almost 20 years now.
Yeah.
So when it comes to these characters, you can get away without the origin. All right.
And the action, like you said, the action sequences was excellent, especially with Diana. Yeah. She's Wonder Woman, but I'm talking about like as Diana as well. I really enjoyed that have a drink with Bruce.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I really like that the interaction between Bruce and I can't. Oh my gosh. What's his name? Oh my gosh. It's right on the Flash.
Yeah. Okay.
What's his name? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Flasher. Yeah, the Flasher, Ezra Miller. Yeah. I do have to say that his performance did surprise me.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, I ended up liking Flash and Cyborg a lot more than I thought I would.
Well, I mean, it was. They didn't make Flash look like a pussy, is what it was like. Something that he would do.
Yeah.
And how would somebody who has hyperactivity, and that's to the extreme, would act. Yeah. As a normal person.
Yeah. The whole point of like, look, save one person, and then he's like, okay, what do you mean? He's like,
you'll figure it out.
You'll know, and after that, you'll figure it out. Oh, okay. And then yeah, he ended up saving all the people who were down in the sewers. That was great, and they definitely kind of played it off like he was. I don't know. They either very ADD, ADHD,
Yes.
or I don't. People have been saying autistic. I don't think.
No, I don't think he was autistic. No,
because the thing is that it wasn't like he got fixated to the point where he couldn't operate otherwise.
Correct.
On
Yeah.
things.
And let's talk about Aquaman. I mean, I thought Aquaman looked boss in this movie, being that I'm so used to him in his green tights and his yellow or his orange. You know what I mean?
Yeah, blonde hair,
and
a fish.
He looked badass in this movie. I was like, I could accept that. I was like, damn, he got some nice armor.
I do think that it really kind of felt like Jason Momoa took a clue from Aquaman from the Brave and the Bold animated series. It did feel
absolutely.
Like
See, I didn't even put that two together. You're right. Yeah.
From that, so that part right there, I did definitely like.
I mean, the scene in the when he was in Atlantis was pretty good too. When they're taking the mother box.
Yeah. Was there anything else that you wanted to go ahead and throw on that pile for things that you liked?
Well, I mean, the action sequences were pretty good. I thought they were well put together.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I think with this particular one, I know I didn't say it before. With this one, we'll try not to be too spoilery. It is only a week removed, and some people haven't seen it yet. Yeah. Which is something that we'll touch on at the end. So we'll go ahead and let's move on to the second part. All right, our second thing that we usually mention in all of our reviews. What was there that we didn't like, or we think that we could change? I would have to say that it isn't anything. What was that? It wasn't any one character or any one thing that I didn't like, except for Steppenwolf. All right. Now I understand why they went with Steppenwolf. They don't want to blow their load before they go to Darkseid and Apocalypse.
Correct. Yeah.
And they did sow the seed of the New Gods.
Yeah.
Apocalypse, Darkseid. He was mentioned. They went ahead and they set that up as far as these are the big bads, or these are the guys that are are going to require the attention of the whole Justice League, right? But yeah, as a character, as a bad guy, he looked like a cartoon character. I mean, he looked like at times a badly animated video game character,
like a full motion video back in the day, like the PlayStation 2 day type full motion video. It kind of felt that way.
There were some times where it seemed like his dialogue was out of sync.
Yeah, with his
lips. And there were other times where it just looked like it's not as bad as like something like Mass Effect Andromeda or anything like that, but it did look like it wasn't quite the level, the production level that you would expect from somebody from a major Hollywood studio.
And for me, I want to say the same thing. I really felt that the CGI don't get me wrong, it was hit or miss. I really felt it was hit or you could have a spectacular scene, and then the next scene you're like, did a first year animator do that one?
Yeah.
And it felt like that. And I was like,
I don't want to harp on Superman's mustache or Henry Cavill's mustache, but I think there were certain times when it looked like there was, how they go ahead and they blur out somebody's lips when they're cussing on screen.
Yeah, it looked like that. Yeah,
there's sometimes and it wasn't his whole lip. It was like a corner of it or something that looked like it. But the worst part was when he was with Lois.
That's what I was going. That was the worst scene ever, man. I mean, as in when he saw through it. Yeah,
when he smiled, it looked like somebody.
Oh God!
Like painted on his mouth with like Windows Paint or something. It was bad. It was bad. It was really bad.
It was. But and to be honest with you, if we could only come up with that for problems, I mean, there wasn't any. I felt that there could have been a little bit more dialogue. Maybe that will be in the director's cut or whatever. That there seems like sometimes that the scenes felt removed, like there was something that should have been there that's not to lead up to this next scene?
It felt like in many times when, especially when the team members were getting together, that you could probably go out of your way and you could sit there. You can play a drinking game or you can play a betting game. You can bet, is this Whedon or is this Snyder? Is this Whedon?
Yeah,
or is this Snyder, right?
yeah.
And some scenes are pretty obvious.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, who went ahead and worked on what, and then you can sit there and you can kind of pick out. Okay, these are the ones that were reshoots that they went ahead and they added on to things. I'd have to say the production, as far as the way that the CG was handled, sometimes it looked gorgeous, sometimes it looked way too busy, very much, which is very Zack Snyder-esque. All right, red lightning and clouds all over the fucking place. Especially the last battle, as awesome as it was, dark. All right, it did turn into clouds and thunder and shit all over the place. All right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they were terraforming. They were making it look like anyway.
Yeah, there was that. But then there were the times that things just looked off. Like I said, with Superman's mustache, or the fact like there are quite a few scenes where Cyborg would step into the scene and it looked like his head was detached from his body.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally. It didn't. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Like his head was moving around, like it was on
a stick,
or like maybe on a different speed or frame rate. It was just really kind of weird.
But with all that said, and it's amazing that with all the problem with the production, what went on during the production between the actors and between the directors and the writers, that it actually turned out this good.
Yeah, but I can kind of see where people are like complaining about it, because the general consensus right now with the Justice League is that it's better than Batman v Superman, not as good as
Wonder Woman. Yeah.
Okay, and those are pretty much the ones that are in the continuity right now. And I would have to say that I agree.
I think it's
and where they really wanted Justice League to be at, though, is that they wanted it to be astonishingly good. And that's kind of where reflects in like the box office numbers. Okay, well, like I said, this is a week late review. Okay, it's Thanksgiving weekend. It opened up on the 17th of November, last weekend. Yeah, I believe 2 months back they were initially projecting that Justice League was going to open up to around 130, 140 million, and then in October they downgraded down to 110,
120. Yeah.
Yeah, right at the opening, basically the opening weekend, they were saying, okay, it'll probably be due 110 million firm. All right.
So, do you think that because of all the baggage to the movie was because because of things that happened?
Well, I'm going to get to that in just a second. Okay. All right. But with continuing along the line that we're going on, it opened only to 93 million. It was a few 100,000 shy of 94 million, which, if you're any other movie in the world opening up at the end of November, that is a blockbuster fucking hit. You're like, wow, I've made back
a lot of people.
Yeah, but considering that they're saying that the production cost for Justice League was over 300 million, and that's not even including marketing cost. This kind of puts them in a weird place. All right. And that's kind of going to lead into like what we usually talk about on Third. Where do you want them to go next with this? Because a lot of people are saying, and I'll admit, up until seeing this movie, I was one of them that, DC should just wipe the slate clean and start over. Okay, a lot of people have been saying that. There are a lot of people who still say that.
Well, I mean, I think that wiping the slate is too No, you don't have to do. It's too dramatic, is what I was trying to say. So I think that Justice League could be a ground level that they could build upon, a foundation they could build upon. I mean, it's a good foundation. I mean, and like you were saying earlier, without doing any spoilers or anything, there are certain things at the end of the movie, during the movie, that can lead off to better things. The movies, more movies, Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're in a really tough spot right now when it comes to Warner Brothers and DC. Their whole thing is, unfortunately, like we've said many times before, this is a creative process run by bean counters. So the investors and the folks that, sign the checks at the studio and everything, that what they're looking at is oh shit, we didn't make the minimum, 110 that we were hoping.
So you're not going to get another movie.
Yeah. And depending on what the box office results are worldwide, and even including like the DVD sales, Blu-ray sales at the end of everything, it really kind of lends itself to what they were saying. Oh, we're thinking about doing individually flavored movies that aren't connected to the continuity, especially with all the news that they're going to do another Joker movie, another Batman movie. They're not sure if they had a Flash movie slated, but it's no longer slated because they can't find a director or writer for it. Same thing with Aquaman. It's kind of...
It puts them in a tough spot.
Yeah, they're in a tough spot. At this moment in time, I don't want them to go ahead and reset everything. I think with the formula that they have with Batman v Superman, with Justice League, with what we saw, they can keep along the same lines. All right, it isn't Batman v Superman, depressing, doom and gloom, brooding, and shit like that.
Yeah.
All right, but it also isn't Avengers where people are cracking jokes every 2 minutes.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I mean, the thing too is one thing that's going to be hard for them, I think, moving forward, is the fact that now you have these group of superheroes that Superman is included in.
Yeah.
Who are they going to go against that would be a worthy villain? I know Darkseid. Gotcha. I got that. But I'm talking about like you just mentioned earlier. You don't want to shoot your load on Darkseid. There's other villains. I mean, and they're hinting at something else.
Yeah.
So which makes sense.
I think we talked about that because if you're somebody who's into like you've been trained by Marvel in order to go ahead and stay at the end of credits to see the end movie scares and stuff like that. They had 2 of them. Mm-hmm. One which was complete fan service, as far as that goes. But the one that was really kind of intriguing as far as the rest of the DCE goes is that they show Lex Luthor and Deathstroke together.
Yep.
And they start talking about, maybe they should be creating their own league.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. All right. And of course, if there's somebody who's going to be on that sort of team that would rival them, I would expect both of those guys to be there in some capacity. It's I gotta say that it's just overall. I mean, if I were to give it a rating, all right, if between yay, nay, or meh, and this one's definitely a yay for me. All right, it's not a jump out of your seat yay, although there was one moment in the movie that almost made me jump out of my seat for the wrong reasons. All right, and I'm gonna spoil it right here. The Flash trips and falls on his fucking face during a fight. Okay,
the Justice League,
the Young Justice. When that happened, I had to stop myself from standing up in my chair and screaming, "What the fuck!" But yeah,
that was fantastic.
Other than that, like I said, I wasn't expecting a lot.
Mm-mm.
And if you're looking for a movie, a popcorn flick that you can go ahead, you could watch. 2 hours go really, really quick. Yeah, a few of the what's that? Lois Lane and Martha Kent moments are kind of slow. All right.
Yeah.
But I also know why they're there. You have to remind everybody that they're still around, especially when it comes back to the end of the movie.
Yeah.
All right. But other than that, not anywhere near as offensive as a lot of people have said it to be. Yeah. I mean, if on a number scale, this is a solid 7-8 out of 10. All right.
I could do that.
Yeah, where it's a good solid movie.
Well, like you said, for me, I'd say yay again. I'd say the yay for the same thing.
Yeah.
There were, like you said, it was a popcorn movie, but it wasn't one of those movies that you turn your brain off to enjoy.
No.
It especially to those people out there that actually know these characters, grew up with these characters, reading these characters. There's a lot of fan service in this, and I think you will probably enjoy the movie more if you knew some of the backstories and
Yeah.
stuff. I'm not talking about the DC cinematic universe. I'm talking about like the comic book just the backstories in general, pretty much.
Yeah.
I think you would enjoy it. So yeah, I mean, it was. Was it a waste of time? No. Did I enjoy the movie? Yes.
Yeah.
Was it to where in order for me to enjoy the movie, I had to turn off my brain? No.
Yeah. I mean,
no. Yeah.
And there
would I see it again? Probably.
Yeah. You know, if somebody else wanted to go ahead and see it again, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be so adverse to sit there and say no. I'm never going to that.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. I would have to say with this particular one, I guess a lot of the sentiment from people, you know, look. It's that whole thing where it's, you know, maybe moviegoers are feeling a little bit of genre fatigue from comic book movies. Maybe they feel a little burnt from
I think it's more of that.
Yeah, from going out and seeing Man of Steel. And
I think it's more of that.
Hearing the marketing saying that, oh no, you know, things are totally different and this could be better with Batman v Superman, and then not seeing that.
I definitely don't think it's genre fatigue simply because of how well the other side of the house is doing. I don't think it's. I really don't think it. I think it's more of you burned me once, and I'm going to cautionally, go to your next movie. You know,
I mean, they're not exactly in a position where they're making people open up their wallets right now.
No, you're right.
Which is sad because these are probably the most recognizable superheroes in all the world.
There's so much potential.
Yeah.
That this, and if to me, like we were saying earlier, if DC Cinematic Universe, if they can set this as a foundation and then build upon this foundation that they have, I think it could be really. I mean, because just the way the movie will set up, you know, I mean, I really enjoyed the characterization of that movie. You know, I mean, I enjoyed that Cyborg didn't have his powers completely on lock.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But it wasn't to a point where it was training wheels.
Yeah.
You know, but.
Yeah. And also the fact that, you know, like we said, I'd be interested to see what they're willing to do after this. Because there's a lot of characters that they can go ahead and mess around with.
Absolutely.
And I'd love to see, especially with the way they handled it and they dropped tidbits, I'd love to see a new Green Lantern. Yeah,
I mean, I would like to see another Wonder Woman. Actually, I want to see more of the Amazon. I mean, because they were prominent in the movie, but I think there could have been more.
Yeah, and also just with on that same vein too is that I'd like to see. I'm actually kind of interested. Okay, if this is how you're handling the characters, show me a Flash movie, show me an Aquaman movie, show me a Cyborg movie. Okay, you got me. I'm interested. Okay, I'm at least curious. You know,
I mean, and like the Atlanteans. I mean that there was a fight scene in there, but that there's character there. There's like, oh wait, we could put this. We could make a whole movie around that. You know, type of characterization there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely intrigued. You know, and that's kind of where we're going to sit there and we're going to wrap this particular one up, folks. Like always, we'd like to know what you thought about Justice League. Did you see the movie? Were you one of the people who threw your general admission down to that 93 million that was on opening weekend? Did you see it just recently? Was it as good as you thought it was going to be? Did it exceed your expectations, or do you completely disagree with us and you think it was a pile of dog shit? We want to know. Yeah. You can tell us by leaving us a comment below. Likewise, if you really like this video, thank you for following us all the way up until the end, by the way. You can go ahead and hit that like button or even hit dislike if you didn't like it. At least I know you watched the video. And if you really want to stick around, see what else we go ahead and put out on this particular channel or any of the channels that we have with middle-aged guys, go ahead and turn that, subscribe to the channel, turn those notifications on, and you'll know exactly when we go ahead and drop a new video. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. All right. With that, that's pretty much going to end this particular review right here. I'm the Reverend.
And I'm Gray Mouse 1.
Like always, folks, every one of these reviews and every one of these videos is a beginning of conversation. With every good conversation, doesn't matter if you agree or disagree with us. If at any time we make you stop, listen, actually consider what we're saying here, then you know, we know we are actually done a lot more than you can ever imagine.
Yep.
We'll see you later, YouTube.